in Britain and all over the world. You will see a commercial which is so old that it is in black and white. But it's a beautiful commercial with a beautiful product demonstration. And you wouldn't believe it, the director is Alan Parker, who made it big in Hollywood afterwards with Bugsy Malone, Angel Heart, Midnight Express, and other great feature films. So look at these films and be amazed.
Буду показывать несколько роликов, которые входят в сотню лучших роликов всех времен и народов рекламных. И первый ролик, ролик для замороженных продуктов. Я даже не знаю, куда ставить, скажите мне. Для замороженных продуктов Captain Birdseye, и этот ролик, он черно-белый, он невероятно древний, действительно старый, но отличительный факт этого ролика, что режиссером его является Алан Паркер, небезызвестный вам всем режиссер «Полуночного экспресса», «Сердце ангела» и других, множество других фильмов. May we start? Ролик.
I'm going to say goodbye.
No, don't say goodbye. Sounds so permanent.
It's only for a very short time. Look after yourself.
Bird's eye roast beef dinner for one. Roast beef, creamed potatoes, peas and Yorkshire pudding. Especially handy for people who aren't used to being on their own.
Great emotions, does it work? Great emotions about a simple frozen food meal. So whenever you work in an agency, don't believe your creative director when he tells you that a product demonstration destroys a beautiful story. You just have to do it right, like Alan Parker. The next one is for Burlington socks. You possibly know Burlington socks, you know, with the checkered ones. You see, I'm wearing them. And here you see a beautiful side-by-side comparison, how socks do stick to the legs. Simple, but great, unforgettable.
Следующий ролик – это ролик реклама носков. Пример сравнительной рекламы. Собственно говоря, показывали преимущество, что носки держатся на ноге. Следующий ролик, пожалуйста.
We've asked you to put on a short sock, the length most men wear, and Burlington's new mid-length sock. The mid-length uses lycra in a very special way so it covers your shins, yet can't slip. Can't get that sloppy look. And can't make it fall down. Burlington's new mid-length sock fall down. Your shiny shins will never show. Burlington socks, just one part of Burlington industry. If it's anything to do with fabric, we do it at Burlington. And we do more of it than anyone in the world.
What? The next one is Cinzano. And this was a great campaign also from Britain. You all know Cinzano. And there was a great couple, it was the old bitch, Joe and Collins.
Следующий ролик – это ролик Чинзан, великолепный британский ролик из Британии, в котором снялась Джоан Коллинз.
And her husband, the actor Leonard Rossiter.
И ее муж.
There's been a series of these films, and Cinzano was always in the center. And although John Collins is the awful bitch, in the end, the last smile goes with the husband. Look at it and enjoy it.
Io Cinzano bianco, signore. Thank you.
Ah, yes, gracias.
Ah, due?
No, mine was a Cinzano as well. Ah, that's better. Oh,
Can't you just smell those Italian wines, suffused with herbs and spices from 4 continents? I'm being boring. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Getting ahead now, sweetie. Sorry, go on here.
From the house of Cinzano, Cinzano Bianca.
Great British humour, and unfortunately I don't have more of them, but it's just beautiful stories all the time. The next one. What?
Here, just because there's this. Sound.
You know, me not talking about little misfortunes, I will show you a campaign.
Можете что-то сделать? Кто занимается?
На сцену не хотите стать?
Let's try here.
Well, can you hear me without microphone? I have a rather good voice, you see.
Yes.
And before this, now a commercial from a famous campaign about Hamlet cigars. And the claim was always, happiness is a thing called Hamlet. This commercial comes from the times when tobacco advertising still was possible on television. So look at this. Small inconveniences, small misfortunes, but always a happy end with Hamlet cigar.
Следующий ролик посвящен сигарам Гамлет, который показывает, что несмотря на никакие маленькие неприятности или неполадки, всегда есть возможность получить удовольствие от сигар Гамлет. Это, в принципе, реклама тех времен, когда реклама табачных изделий еще была возможна на телевидении. Ролик, пожалуйста.
Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet. The mild cigar has been so many.
So simple, so beautiful. This is creativity. And there are 5 other stories I could tell you because I still haven't forgotten them. Because they were so beautiful.
This one. Okay, good. Now we hear me better. Yeah, you should know I'm Austrian, and like Schwarzenegger, I'll always be back, you see. And now a commercial for Levi's jeans, blue jeans, and this doesn't need any explanation because you all remember the days when Levi's jeans, original Levi's jeans, was the main desire in this part of the world.
Я даже не знаю, нуждается в переводе или нет. Ну, все поняли, переводить, в общем-то, реклама джинсов Levi's. Я думаю, все из нас знают, помнят, ну, не все, но помнят те времена, когда джинсы в нашей стране это было чем-то таким невероятным. Вот, да. Реклама сразу не наша. Вот, поэтому, хотя может показаться, что реклама советская. Окей, следующий ролик.
Not bad, huh? So, now we come to another selection, and this is from the 30 winners of the Cannes Grand Prix. You know, every year in Cannes, in the south of France, there's a big festival for advertising commercials. And the Grand Prix, if you win the Grand Prix as an agency, it's the best thing you can achieve, you know? It's just happiness and orgasm, you see? Anyway, the first one is from the year 1984. And the year 1984 was a very special year because 50 years ago, George Orwell has written a book called 84, and it's about Big Brother in a totalitarian state. And I think you have read it, otherwise I strongly recommend to read this book. And this idea was used by the great director, Ridley Scott. Everybody knows Ridley Scott. And for the launch of Apple Computer. It's the fight for freedom against Big Brother. And everybody knows who Big Brother is. It's IBM.
No, I have one. Следующая подборка роликов — это подборка роликов обладателей Гран-при Каннского фестиваля рекламы. И первый ролик — ролик 1984 года, который напрямую относится к роману Джорджа Оруэлла 1984, знаменитый роман «Антиутопия», о большом брате. И в данном случае большим братом выступает компания IBM.
And you will see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Great, huh? Yes, you know, these are commercials. You are a very fortunate situation. You can get all the recent advertising from the internet. We didn't have such things. So I thought it's worthwhile to show you something, yes, something old, because this it's not so easy to get from the internet. The next one is about Pepsi Cola. Marvelous, you know, the endless fight, Pepsi versus Coca. Pepsi Cola always had the better advertising. They did win the battle of the advertising. Not always for the market share, but for the advertising. Look at this, which is called archaeology.
Следующий ролик Pepsi Cola. Опять же, пример сравнительной рекламы против Coca-Cola в данном случае. Против Coca-Cola. Следующий ролик, можно?
This class is perhaps the greatest archaeological discovery of our time. A dwelling called the Split-Level Ranch. Marvelous.
What's this, Professor?
Ah, a spherical object they used to hurl at each other with great velocity while others looked on. What's this? This device produced excruciatingly loud noises to which they would gyrate in pain.
Professor! What is it? What is it?
I have no idea.
Good choice.
Thank you. You are apparently a very bright audience. You grasp it. I like it's great advertising. Yes. Then the next one is for the launch of the new VW Passat, Volkswagen Passat. Vasily is driving a Passat. And this is from the year 1988. It's from the UK. Look at this.
Рекламный ролик 1988 года. Запуск Volkswagen Passat. Следующий ролик.
In the beginning, Volkswagen built the Beetle, the original small car. They then built the Golf, the classic sporty small car. Then came the Polo, the ultimate practical small car. And now, Volkswagen, famous for their great small cars, introduce a great big one. The new Volkswagen Passat. It's built like all Volkswagens. Strong, aerodynamic, well designed, comfortable, spacious, reliable. In fact, it's everything you'd expect from a Volkswagen, only bigger.
And now we go to the people with the yellow faces, Japonci. And in the year 93, for the first time, it was quite a sensation, the Japanese did win the Grand Prix in Cannes. Look at this, commercials for Nissin noodle soup.
Я думаю, вы поняли, кто, собственно говоря, нация, ответственная за производство следующего ролика, а ролик, собственно говоря, о супе. Следующий ролик.
And the last commercial of this television presentation, if you have time, there will be more at the end. But now this is for a product from Nestle, Rolo. It's a simple chocolate bonbon. And Lintas, my agency, before we merged with Lowe, did win the Grand Prix for this in the year 96, so it's quite recent. Look at this beautiful story.
Ролик 96-го года, произведенный компанией Lintas. Это компания, в которой я работала до того, как Lintas, собственно говоря, слилась с Lowe. Ролик шоколадных батончиков Nestle. Следующий ролик. Следующий слайд, пожалуйста, презентации.
Thank you very much. Now let's continue, and for a change, we go from television to print.
Теперь ради разнообразия мы перейдем от телевизионной рекламы
Not
к
this, the
принту.
next one.
Да, не знаю, следующий слайд.
Yes, what does it say? From beauty to shock by breaking taboos. And now I will give you a short impression of Benetton advertising from the year 84 till 2000. Next slide. And the whole lot.
Так, чтобы полностью слайд отображался.
You see, Benetton is quite a big company, and I'm quite a great friend of the United Colors of Benetton. As you will see, this is from Benetton. And they're beautiful colors. I have a big collection of this. The people from my agency know that almost every day I have a new color. So thanks to United Colors of Benetton. And as you can see, they make a turnover more than $1 billion. And last year they made a profit of 100,000. All there. And next slide.
Следующий слайд. Дальше. You must take the...
Я hope. Надежда есть.
И еще раз один раз кликните. И еще.
Well, and this man is Oliviero Toscani. He's an Italian photographer, as you can read here, and he was the creator of the Benetton campaign. Toscani has written a book, Advertising is a Smiling Piece of Shit, and whenever you get this in a language you understand, I only have a German language copy, it's very critical about advertising. And he never worked with an advertising agency. The whole campaign which you will see is a one-man show. He didn't need a copywriter because he didn't write headlines. Anyway, Oliviero Toscani is an Italian photographer, and they told me, or in an article in an Ukrainian magazine I read, that he's now creative director for Tinkoff Beer. Interesting. And he really revolutionized advertising. He did break rules. He did not care about taboos. And he believed in the triumph of the picture. So in all this advertising, you will never see a headline, you see. They don't need a headline. The pictures speak for themselves. And in our language, we have a rule that one picture says more than 1,000 words. And this is the strength of this campaign. And he did not want to market products. You will never see a Benetton product in this advertising. But he did advertise values, human values. And I think for this you don't need a translation because it's all written here. And quick thinking as you are, you have read this in half a second. So next pictures, please. Dangerous place. So look at this. This was the first advertisement Toscani did. He had a friend, and this friend was manufacturing jeans, and Toscani persuaded him to call the jeans Jesus. So Jesus jeans. You can imagine, the Vatican was not amused. Translate.
Это первая работа Тоскани. Его один из друзей запускал джинсы, и, собственно говоря, Тоскани предложил имя, которым, по всей вероятности, не был рад Ватикан. Это Jesus Jeans или джинсы Иисуса.
And what written is here is something, kto, который любит меня, следует меня. За мной. So, it's quite a provocation, you see.
Это на самом деле провокация.
Next one. Well, then, from 85 till 87, there was a campaign, and it showed, in principle, people of different races and different colors. It was a meeting of the opposites, as it's written here, Vera. Yes? And this time, the claim, United Colors of Benetton, came up. And it is, yes, a meeting of the opposites, and we will now have a look at the pictures, please.
Собственно говоря, это иллюстрации первой кампании, о которой только что говорил Эрнст, и перевод был, собственно говоря, на презентации.
This picture got the attention of Mikhail Gorbachev, because you see it's the old Soviet flag, and he saw it in Paris as a big billboard, and then he asked, who is this Mr. Benetton? He must be a famous politician.
Эта фотография привлекла внимание Михаила Горбачева, когда он посещал Париж. Он увидел эту фотографию на билборде и спросил, кто такой господин Бенеттон. По всей вероятности, это какой-то ваш политик. Следующий слайд. Следующий слайд. Это иллюстрация, собственно говоря, первой кампании. Следующий слайд.
Okay, stop now. From this campaign, United Colors, United people of all over the world, The thinking behind is that the pullover became the link between races, religions, and languages. And you are all too young to have witnessed this, but this campaign had great impact. Actually, Benetton belongs now to the 10 best-known brands of the world. And this was done exclusively through this campaign.
Это одна из наиболее знаменитых компаний, и, в принципе, она положила начало тому огромному успеху, которого достиг Benetton. Так, например, сейчас Benetton входит в десятку одних из наиболее известных брендов в мире.
The next period was in 1988, and this was the campaign about myth, and there were pictures about Jeanne d'Arc, Marilyn Monroe, and as you can see here, Adam and Eve, and we go to the next picture.
На этой слайде вы можете видеть следующую кампанию «Мифы», которая представляла Жанну Д'Арк, Мерлин Монро, Адама и Еву, как в частности на этой картинке. Следующий слайд, пожалуйста.
Next.
Yeah,
well, then from 89 till 90, yes, 89, came the so-called racism campaign. It was a campaign at racism, yes. And again, I would like to make the point that there is no dresses or clothes show.
Следующая кампания, это была кампания «Расизм», которая характеризуется тем, что в ней, опять же, не показывалась продукция Benetton.
And especially the ladies will agree with me that when buying something to wear, a dress, clothes, the functional need of a dress in such a situation is irrelevant. You don't buy it because you need a dress. You buy something but you like it, it gives you a good feeling, it makes you look better, and so on. So it's basically about emotional benefits and not about rational functional benefits. It's written here. And Toscani, as he didn't like very much advertising, he didn't like supermodels very much. So there have been 29 pictures taken for this campaign, but I think only 4 or 5 show faces. So he said that Claudia Schiffer, she's a cloned beauty, wild, blonde and clean, young, healthy, without caries, fresh like shampoo, but otherwise useless. Next slide, next slide.
И поэтому следующий слайд.
Nice. Next.
Следующий, просто про все картинки прояснить.
Next.
Только так, чтобы их видно было. Хорошо.
Next. Next. This is an interesting picture. You see? Can you figure out who is the policeman and who is the prisoner?
Вы можете разглядеть, кто из людей, изображенных на этой фотографии, полицейский, а кто, собственно говоря, заключенный?
You know, this doesn't need a stupid headline from a copywriter. Who is what or such nonsense? This makes people think. This is intriguing people. That's why they look longer and not just go away in all quickness.
Такая реклама, она не нуждается в слогане от копирайтера. Эта реклама просто заставляет людей думать. И поэтому, собственно говоря, она живет очень-очень долго.
Next one.
Следующий слайд.
And this was a big scandal. It was forbidden in South Africa, but Benetton and Olivier can claim with good rights that their advertising contributed a lot to the breakdown of apartheid.
Эта реклама, она опять же вызвала достаточно большой скандал и была запрещена в Южной Африке, но Тоскани, положила предположение, что эта фотография стала одной из причин падения апартеида.
Well, and then we come to the next period. It was 1991. It was called, well, this period is defined as love and death.
В следующем периоде появилась кампания, озаглавленная «Любовь и смерть».
And can we see the cemetery?
Можно сразу к картинке, следующий слайд. Следующий.
Medley. Look at this. This advertisement appeared at the time of the first Gulf War in 91, when the Americans first attacked Iraq and so on. Well, it was better right than now. And look very carefully on the left corner, you see a David Star. So first, the Jewish community protested against this. They said that the David Star must not be used for such, well, provocative advertising.
Эта реклама появилась во время Первой войны в Ираке, и вы можете отметить, что в левом углу находится звезда Давида. И сначала это присутствие вызвало негативные комментарии со стороны, собственно говоря, еврейского сообщества.
And you have read it on the previous slide, but Toscani said something very important, and I think every advertising lady or advertising man should never forget this. There's a great ethical and aesthetical responsibility for the ad man, because they can educate and guide the taste of the man on the street. I personally am very much against stupid advertising. You never must say, well, people like it. It's my belief, but maybe I'm told. But advertising has an ethical and aesthetical responsibility. You just must not show the people all the time rubbish. Well, it was written there. And there's another wisdom, big wisdom of Toscani, when he has written, when this was published, the only real concrete result of wars are cemeteries. Please translate this.
Ну, я все-таки озвучу то, что сказал Эрнст Станч, поскольку этого, наверное, то есть этого не было видно. Тоскани сказал, что на рекламисте лежит большая ответственность этическая и эстетическая, потому что они руководят массами на улице. А вторая его реакция на все комментарии по поводу этой рекламной кампании, этого конкретного рекламного сообщения было то, что единственный видимый результат любой войны — это кладбище.
This is wrong, this slide, but let's have it later. And Toscani also did break the rule. The great advertising people always say, well, we have to take the people only beautiful things. We don't have to show people reality. We have to make people dream, dream, dream. That's a nice stupid. But he broke with one of these conventional rules. And this rule was never connect a brand with a negative, sad, hurting story.
Тоскани разбил еще одно табу, это показывать и связывать бренд с какими-либо негативными историями, с негативными эмоциями. Клиенты всегда говорят, мы это не можем показывать, мы не должны это показывать.
Well, then now I would like to have this slide, if possible.
Сейчас...
Hello, tell him.
This is it.
Is it?
Yes.
Good. The next period of Toscani was Love and Death in 91. And we see first an advertisement about condoms.
Следующий слайд, пожалуйста.
This, of course, was also a big scandal, but it's beautiful, you know, the united colors of condoms. I recently recommended to a client to use a condom for promotion. They said, God bless me, see, this was a sin.
Эрнст недавно предложил одному из клиентов использовать как приз в промоушене презервативы, на что клиент ответил,
When I had Fiat as a client in Austria, we launched a new car, and the main feature was security.
Когда Эрнст работал в Австрии, он принимал участие в запуске новой машины, Фиата, новой модели Фиата.
On security.
И как бы основной ее особенностью была безопасность.
And we distributed condoms.
И они распространяли, собственно говоря, презервативы для поддержания этого запуска.
We had to increase the tirage 3 times. The number we gave.
Им пришлось в 3 раза увеличивать количество распространяемых презервативов.
And Fiat Germany, and the Germans are not the most humorful people in the world, Fiat in Germany took this promotion also.
А потом Fiat в Германии, собственно говоря, перенял эту акцию и провел...
I very much like this picture because it shows the joyful, playful, creative aspect of sexuality. And notice we always hear as children, no, it's ugly. Sex is beautiful, sex is not ugly. Next slide.
Следующий слайд.
Yes, again, White angel and black devil, beautiful picture. You don't need a headline for this. The picture speaks for itself. Isn't it lovely?
Опять же, замечательная картинка,
And then we come to a big scandal when we see the next slide.
Следующий слайд.
Beautiful. And it's the truth. You know, priests also have sex. It's only a taboo. Don't speak about this. Don't mention it. It's forbidden. But it happens, and quite a lot. Next picture, please.
Следующий.
And this, yes, I don't have the right vocabulary. This was a big, big, big scandal.
Эта фотография вызвала огромный скандал.
Babies have to look beautiful. All Johnson & Johnson cleaned and washed and dressed up.
Младенцам положено выглядеть в рекламе очень аккуратными, вымытыми, красивыми.
And especially the Italians protested, because the Italians like just beautiful babies. Bambini, bambini, bambini.
Особенно протестовали итальянцы, которые больше всех любят красивых малышей.
But Toscani told them, it's no wonder that you don't like this picture, because you are more used to people lying dead on the street, killed by the mafia.
Но Тоскани сказал, неудивительно, что вам не нравится эта фотография. Вы привыкли скорее к людям, к умершим людям на улицах, убитых мафией.
When this appeared, I was a member of the Austrian Ethical Advertising Council.
Когда появилась эта рекламная кампания, Эрнст состоял в наблюдательном совете рекламы в Австрии.
And of course, all the conservatives said, нельзя.
И все консерваторы, естественно, отреагировали на эту кампанию «нельзя».
But a few courageous advertising people like me, we voted strongly for, and the ad appeared.
Но несколько смелых представителей рекламы Австрии проголосовали «за», и это позволило рекламе появиться на улице города.
Within one month, the advertising had 81% recall.
Спустя несколько месяцев об этой рекламе вспоминали ее 49% жителей.
And you wouldn't believe it, 55% to 71% acceptance, depending on the age groups. Of course, the elder people didn't like it so much, but the younger, 71% acceptance.
И почти 57% она нравилась, они принимали эту рекламу.
Let's come to the next period. Reportage in advertising in 92.
И следующий период деятельности Тоскани это заглавлен как «Репортаж в рекламе», период 1992 года.
And the mission of this campaign was to give knowledge and information what ugly things happen in this world, as it's written there. Again, it was breaking the rules. Associate brand with negative news is Nelsia. And for the first time, the pictures were not taken by Toscani himself. He bought pictures from press photographs.
Ну, Эрнст озвучил, собственно говоря, что на слайде сейчас представлено. И следующий слайд, пожалуйста.
Okay. And the scandal was to bring these incidents to the public, because you don't speak about this. You don't look at this. And there's a beautiful phrase, a beautiful saying, a beautiful citat, как мы говорим по-русски. There are neither moral or immoral books. They're only well or badly written books. You understand? Good.
И эту кампанию иллюстрирует высказывание Оскара Уайльда о том, что нет моральных или аморальных книг, есть просто плохо и хорошо прочитанные книги.
And this is a wonderful picture, you see. This is a black soldier, and he has a human bone in his hands, you see. And he has exactly the same position as the British officers had. They had this stick, you see, and went like this. It's exactly, you know, the same attitude. They got freed from colonialism, but immediately they became the biggest colonialists themselves.
Эта фотография, она иллюстрирует чернокожего мужчину, который держит человеческую кость в той же позиции, в котором британские колонисты, собственно говоря, полисмены держат свой жезл. И таким образом иллюстрируется то, что, освободившись от колонистов, по сути дела, местные жители сами стали исполнять их функции.
Next two pictures, please.
Следующая фотография.
You all know these pictures, refugees.
Это фотография беженцев, следующая фотография.
Next one. Yes, it's not such a nice world we are living in. And the main enemy of people are human beings. As you can read what's happening in the Iraq prisons.
Да, мы живем не в столь замечательном мире, и главный враг человечества – само человечество. То, что мы сейчас, собственно говоря, можем наблюдать в иракских тюрьмах.
And let's look at the next one.
И следующий слайд.
Can you imagine a client taking this picture for an advertisement?
Вы можете себе представить, как клиент согласовывал эту фотографию для своей рекламной кампании.
And the next one.
И следующий слайд.
And the next one.
И следующий слайд.
This was the biggest scandal. You know, you don't show people dying from AIDS. But this is a person dying from AIDS, and it was shot by a press photographer, and it was published. Because about AIDS, you also should not speak. It doesn't exist. Although every day in Africa, 20,000 people are dying from this. But better don't speak about it, you see? And this is a great achievement of this campaign, that they made such bad things which are happening in our world public.
Это тоже очень скандальная фотография, которая показывает человека, умирающего от СПИДа. Об этом не то, что... Ну, это не то, что показывать никто не смел. Об этом даже не смели говорить.
But it did more for creating awareness of AIDS, like all these simple campaigns which are run and where secretly speak, you should use a condom and things like this and so on and so on. We have been involved in such a work. But this speaks a very clear and strong language. No. Next slide.
Следующий слайд.
Yes, stop.
Stop.
You all know what the Biennale is. The Biennale is the biggest worldwide art exhibition in Venice. It's great to go there. It's beautiful, contemporary art with a big park, hundreds of pavilions. And Toscani was invited to do something for the Biennale, because at this time he was already well known and accepted as an artist. And he thought, well, you can make a collage of past photos. You see, this is the photos you have in your passport. Imagine that you have in your passport this.
Следующий слайд. Ну, собственно говоря, перед этим слайдом Тоскани выставил свои работы на Биеннале, это, естественно, художественная выставка. И он решил выставить коллаж из фотографий в паспорт, но как бы не только, но еще вот такое вот фото.
And can you imagine that this was in the Biennale on the size of 400 square meters? Quite an impact.
И вот подобная рекламная, ну, подобная фотография, она была представлена на Биеннале в размере 400 квадратных метров.
But finally he decided not to put his picture like this into his passport.
Но все-таки он решил не ставить свою фотографию в таком виде в свой паспорт.
He would have had problems with passport controls.
Наверняка у него были бы проблемы с таможней.
Now, next one,
Следующий
please.
слайд.
This is the HIV campaign, a famous HIV campaign.
Это следующая кампания, знаменитая кампания, посвященная ВИЧ.
And the idea came to Toscani when he read that in an American school, a young boy with 14 years, to create awareness of the HIV problem, came to the school naked and had HIV written on his body.
Эта идея этой кампании пришла в голову Тоскани, когда он прочел о случае в Америке, когда 14-летний мальчик для того, чтобы рассказать своим соученикам, что такое ВИЧ, пришел в школу обнаженный с надписью ВИЧ на своем теле.
But you wouldn't believe it. The teacher did not hide his nudity, they did hide this stamp. Because about this, let him be naked. but don't speak about HIV.
На что учителя отреагировали весьма странным способом. Они не пытались спрятать его наготу, они пытались спрятать надпись ВИЧ.
And this campaign it shows that people who have AIDS, they are kind of brand marks, like animals, as you all know. Show the next ones.
Следующий слайд. И следующий.
And next one.
И следующий слайд. Да, запускайте. Следующий запускайте. Yes. The picture.
This is a picture which also was a very, very big scandal. We are writing the year 94, and as you all remember, the war was going on in Yugoslavia. A very cruel war. But in the West, the people were more interested whether Prince Charles still had sex with Lady Di.
Это тоже весьма скандальная кампания, появившаяся в 1994 году. Она появилась в то время, когда шла война в Балканах, в Югославии. Но на то время общественность больше интересовалась тем о межличностных отношениях Чарльза и Дианы, и в меньшей степени интересовалась войной в Югославии.
So a person from Sarajevo approached Toscani to do something. And Toscani from the Red Cross got this uniform of the killed soldier. Of course, it was again a big scandal because about war you don't speak and you don't show such things and so on. But he showed it, and I remember that this uniform of Marinko Gagro did create quite a strong impact.
И человек из Сараева попросил Тоскани привлечь внимание общественности к войне, и поэтому, собственно говоря, он и показал фотографию формы убитого солдата.
But then came a time when Toscani became quieter. This is 95.
Следующий слайд, пожалуйста.
Yes, 95. But still, there is a big billboard, and white, black, yellow. But in principle, we are all the same. So you need a lot of courage, and you have to be quite creative to come to the idea to show this.
В следующих кампаниях Тоскани становится сдержаннее, но все равно, не перестают удивлять всех. И, собственно говоря, мы видим рекламное сообщение, суть которого заключается в том, что все мы на самом деле одинаковы.
And then the last campaign of Toscani for Benetton sentenced to death.
И следующий слайд, можно? Это последней кампанией для Бенеттона от Тоскани стала кампания, приговоренная к смерти, кампания 2000 года.
And Benetton had the permission to photograph, listen carefully, to photograph 30 people sentenced to death in a Missouri prison.
Бенеттон получил эксклюзивное право сфотографировать почти 30 людей, приговоренных к смерти, находящихся в тюрьме Миссури.
But he didn't have the right to publish it. So that's why Benetton got sued. Legal action was taken by the state of Missouri, and this did cost them quite a lot of money.
Однако они не получили разрешения на публикацию данных фотографий, поэтому Бенеттон был привлечен к суду, был вынужден заплатить достаточно большие деньги.
Следующий слайд.
Следующий слайд.
И следующий. And this sentence to death was also the end of the partnership. It was kind of death sentence of the partnership between Toscani and Benetton. The main reason was that in America people didn't buy Benetton anymore. They did boycott the Benetton shops, and so this big period of outstanding, unconventional creativity, breaking all rules, came to an end.
Эта кампания стала своеобразным смертным приговором партнерства Лучано Бенеттона и Оливера Тоскани. Основной из причин был, собственно говоря, то, что в Америке упали очень сильно продажи, поскольку американцы попросту бойкотировали магазины Бенеттон.
Следующий слайд, пожалуйста.
Следующий слайд.
I learned quickly, you see. Well, this is a summary. You can read, but I still would like to say it in my words. You can ask yourself, is Oliviero Toscani a cynic who exploits the misery of others to sell a few sweaters more? It's a legitimate question. And a lot of articles wrote about this. He is a cynical and doing this. Or is he a revolutionary artist who discovered advertising to spread shocking pictures? That way is fulfilling a mission of art better than many painters, sculptors, photographers. Possibly both.
Следующую строчку высветите.
But for sure he was highly innovative and revolutionary. And this is the big need in our business in advertising. Our advertising is 90% stupid cliches. There are too little innovators, revolutionaries. Well, my creative director, Evgeny Kaminsky, I always called the most revolutionary creative director I met in my life. And he likes to hear this. There's an eternal truth, and listen very carefully, an eternal truth of psychology. Tell me what you see in a picture, and I tell you which problem you have.
Следующую строчку высветите.
Please read this and think about it. It's your interpretation. See, some people like me see always fantastic things and so on. Some people always see sad things and so on. So again, I repeat, tell me what you see in a picture, and I tell you which problem you have. And now we come back to television.
А сейчас вернемся к телевизионной рекламе ненадолго.
We are check whether he's ready.
Можно, да? Should we start?
No, I will say a few words.
Сейчас не запускайте?
Because I like to hear my voice. Anyway, I told you something old, something borrowed, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Now we come to something new, and this is all work from the wonderful Low agency. You know Vera, who is doing this great translation job, and has all this written, these slides and so on, and so the third time she's coming. You have extremely talented people in this country, in this city, especially in advertising. I have to tell you, I've been working, of course, in Austria, in Germany, in Britain, also 6 years in Russia, and now almost 3 years in Ukraine. But I'm not telling you a nice story. People here are extremely talented, ambitious, quick learning. And one of the examples is Vera. Vera, stand up, take a big bow.
Эрнст восхищается представителями рекламного бизнеса Украины.
And now we see 1, 2, 3, 4 commercials. 4 commercials in a row. And the first one is from Low, you wouldn't believe it, Low Kiev. And you know, we agency, we know how to work with stars. We are working with the Klitschkos for Chernigovsky, with Ala and Kikorian, or what's his name? Yes, Kikorov, for Soyuz Viktan. And long before she did win the Eurovision contest, we had Ruslana for Svitosh. But now we are going even further. Look at our commercial with Gérard Depardieu. Then you will see a commercial which is one of the best beer campaigns in this part of the world, Polstiak. And I was part of the team when we started this in '99. It's the famous Russian Polstiak beer campaign already running 5 years. Then you will see a campaign for Rexona, 40 years, Rexona, same positioning. Efficient protection for BO, but always new interesting stories. And finally, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corporation. The bank, the world's local bank. And look at these 4 commercials. And I tell you, I very much love this work.
Сейчас вы увидите 4 рекламных ролика. Это как бы следуя названию презентации что-то новое. Первый ролик — это ролик Low Kiev нашего агентства. Ролик с мировой звездой. Мы на самом деле раньше уже работали с некоторыми звездами, с Кличко, с Пугачевой, с Киркоровым, с Русланой тоже немного. Да, сейчас вот новый ролик нашего агентства. Далее вы увидите ролик Толстяка. Это российское пиво, которое замечательно иллюстрирует пример property в рекламе. Далее будет ролик Рексоны, всем вам известного бренда.
Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corporation. The world's local bank. Everybody understands.
Да, банк.
All 4 together. One go.
4 ролика, пожалуйста, без перерыва.
Magnifique, tu l'as à ses yeux. Où je suis là? Oui, à Kiev. Сегодня прилетят?
Прилетят. На запах гречихи точно прилетят.
Прям как мы, мужики. Новое пиво «Толстяк гречишное» сварено с добавлением гречихи, что придает ему особый бархатистый вкус и насыщенный аромат.
А вот и в чем.
«Толстяк гречишное». Налетайте, мужики.
Здравствуйте.
Хорошо сидим и не жужжим.
Next one.
The English believe it's a slur on your host's food if you don't clear your plate. Whereas the Chinese feel you're questioning their generosity if you don't. At HSBC, we never underestimate the importance of local knowledge. Which is why we have local banks staffed by local people in more countries than anyone else. HSBC, the world's local bank.
Also great acting in this HSCB bank. So I think we have 5 minutes more, and I originally planned to come to an end, but now back to something old.
У нас еще осталось капельку времени, поэтому, дабы использовать, вернемся к началу нашей презентации, что-то старое.
In the 60s, there was a very famous campaign in America by Dane Birnbach, and Bill Birnbach, one of the heroes of advertising, for the Volkswagen Juke, you call it.
Yes.
So, you understand, yes? And originally I wanted to make a big presentation out of this, but then I found out we haven't time enough. But now I will show you 3 or 4 television commercials, which just show Volkswagen, the simple car. And they sold 6 million Volkswagen Jukes in America. They even had to build a factory there. So I mean, this Juke was is one of the most famous car models. The last was built in Mexico a few years ago.
Эта компания Volkswagen Жука, еще старая, еще того старого, которая помогла в Америке продать более 6 миллионов жуков, и, собственно говоря, им даже пришлось там построить специальный завод для этого.
And the hero, of course, is always the car. The product. Keep the product in the middle was Bill Birnbach's credo.
Это компания Билла Бернбаха, и основным критерием, он всегда говорил, что основное внимание в компании должно уделяться непосредственно продукту. Продукт и только продукт.
And now I will show you 4 commercials, and you certainly will enjoy it. And the last one of the Volkswagen commercials, I still believe it's the best commercial which was ever made in this world. Most of them are still black and white, but it's fantastic. You will see. You then can tell me whether I'm true. I still believe that this is one of the best ever made. Please.
Сейчас будет показано несколько рекламных роликов, собственно говоря, из этой компании Volkswagen. И я располагаю, что последний рекламный ролик вот в этом блоке — это действительно одна из самых лучших рекламных роликов всех времен и народов. Ролики. Без остановки.
To hereby bequeath the following. To my wife Rose.
It's about the funeral.
There was no tomorrow. I leave $100 and a calendar.
To my sons, Rodney and Victor, who spent every dime I ever gave them on fancy cars and fast women, I leave $50 in dimes. To my business partner, Jules, whose only motto was spend, 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 I leave nothing, nothing, nothing. And to my other friends and relatives who also never learned the value of a dollar, I leave $1. Finally, to my nephew Harold, who oft-times said, a penny saved is a penny earned, and who also oft-times said, gee, Uncle Max, it sure pays to own a Volkswagen. I leave my entire fortune of $100 billion.
So everybody, stop. Everybody got the story. See, it's a funeral. The rich man is brought to the cemetery, and all his rich relations and so on that only wasted money. But the one in the Zouk, yes, who always said, a penny saved is a penny earned, you see, he gets the billion-dollar heritage. Now the next one.
There's a little country in the Middle East with just about the most oil of any place in the world. And therefore just about the most money per person and the most cars per person of any place in the world. But regrettably, very few Volkswagens. With all that oil, we need the Volkswagen because it doesn't take much oil or gas. With all that money, who needs a Volkswagen because it doesn't cost much? And with all that parking space, who needs a Volkswagen because it's so easy to park? So a country like this doesn't need Volkswagens. But what about an undeveloped country?
Undeveloped country. So, just everybody understood? Everybody understood this? In Arab, they have enough parking space, they have oil in abundance and so on. They don't need a Volkswagen there. But in America, an underdeveloped country, with slight, nice humor and so on, they might need it. And in the end, they bought 6 million of them. The next one is about a political candidate. The question is, whom would you vote for? 2 political candidates. Just watch it.
Предыдущий ролик был, собственно говоря, как вы поняли, наверное, кому нужен Volkswagen, маленький, удобно паркующийся и недорогой в Арабских Эмиратах, где у всех много денег, много места для парковки, но совсем другая ситуация в такой развивающейся стране, как Америка. А следующий ролик, который будет показан, это ролик «За кого бы вы голосовали». И включите, пожалуйста.
This is a very fancy convertible, the most expensive convertible you can buy. This is a Volkswagen convertible, the least expensive 4-passenger convertible you can buy. Now, which man would you vote for? Have you ever wondered how the man who drives a snowplow drives to the snowplow? This one drives a Volkswagen. So you can stop wondering.
Well, this story is so convincing. Have you ever thought how the man who drives the snowplow gets to the snowplow? Translate.
Это, в принципе, очень убедительная история. Задумались ли когда-либо, как водитель снегоуборочной машины, как добирается до своей, собственно говоря, снегоуборочной машины?
And no more words, no more explanation. And it shows, with this car, you're getting safe through the winter. It's a great thing. This is what people want. Not long explanations, not long blah blah in advertising. Give them a clear message.
Собственно говоря, прекрасная иллюстрация четкого, ясного сообщения, какая действительно машина надежна, которая поможет вам преодолеть любые погодные условия. Единственное сообщение, как бы краткость, очень творческое. рекламу.
I personally have wonderfully survived more than 40 years in this business thanks to my belief in simplicity.
Эрнст 40 лет уже работает в рекламе, и он верит в простоту, и, в принципе, добился успеха благодаря той простоте, в которую он верит.
And especially in Russia, where it can't be good if it's not difficult.
Особенно в России, когда реклама не может быть хорошей, если она не сложна.
I beautifully succeeded, believe me. That makes me a little bit proud.
Эрнст там преуспел со своим принципом о простоте, и он этим гордится.
And as you still can feel, I'm not a young man anymore, but I still have a great passion for good advertising.
И Эрнст, несмотря на то, что он уже не молод, он действительно очень страстно любит хорошую рекламу.
Сейчас я боюсь, это конец, это все на сегодня. Огромное спасибо за ваше внимание, и я люблю всех безумно. Спасибо.